Most women have been in a situation where they can't tell if a man truly wants them or just wanted that moment. And here's what nobody tells you. The answer isn't in what he says. It's not in the texts he sends the next morning or the plans he makes for next weekend. The answer is in his body. Specifically, what he does with it in those quiet, unguarded minutes right after. Because in those minutes, a man's defenses are completely down. His mind isn't performing. His ego isn't protecting him. What he does with you in that window of time is one of the most honest signals he will ever give you. If you've ever laid there afterward wondering, does he actually care about me? Or am I just here? This video is going to give you something most relationship advice never does. Clarity. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what his physical behavior after intimacy reveals about how deeply he's emotionally bonded to you, and what it means for where your relationship is really going. Stay with me. Here's what's happening for so many women right now. You've been trying so hard to read him. You analyze the texts, you replay the conversations, you ask your friends what they think, you go back through old messages looking for clues, and maybe you've even started to feel a little embarrassed about how much mental energy this one person is taking up in your life. The confusion is exhausting. Because on one hand, when you're with him, something feels real. Something feels warm and close and genuine. But then comes that gnawing question that creeps in when you're alone. Is this real for him too? The cruel irony is that we've been taught to listen to words, to watch for grand gestures, to wait for the declaration, the commitment talk, the Instagram post. But real emotional investment, real obsession, the kind that means a man has truly opened himself to you and doesn't want to let go, that doesn't show up in speeches. It shows up in the body, in the habits, in those small, unconscious moments when he's not thinking about how he looks or what you'll think of him. And intimacy is the moment when all of that is most visible. Because after that level of vulnerability, whatever a man does next, that's the truth. So let's talk about what that truth looks like. And more importantly, what it means for you. Here are 7 ways a man holds you after sex that reveal he is completely, deeply, emotionally obsessed with you. Let's start with the most fundamental signal of all. In the moments right after intimacy, there is a biological pull toward space, toward separateness. For a lot of people, and yes, particularly men who have been conditioned to feel vulnerable after emotional exposure, the easiest thing to do is create physical distance. Roll to their side, reach for the phone, get up for a glass of water. That physical retreat isn't always conscious. It's protective. It's the body's way of saying, I just showed you something real, and now I need to recover. But when a man is genuinely obsessed with you, not just attracted to you, not just comfortable with you, but truly connected, he does the opposite. He pulls you in. His arm finds you. His hand rests on your back. He closes the gap without even deciding to. Why? Because his subconscious is telling him something powerful. I don't want this to end. I want more of this, more of her. That instinctive reach is not about possession. It's about connection. He's not pulling you close because he owns you. He's pulling you close because in that moment, your presence is the most comforting thing in the world to him. Think about the difference between being with someone who, the moment it's over, flips onto his back and stares at the ceiling, versus someone who, without a word, tucks you into the curve of his body and sighs like he's home. One of those men has just performed intimacy. The other has experienced it. The man who pulls you in isn't thinking about strategy. He isn't trying to make you feel wanted so you'll call him tomorrow. His body is just responding to the truth of what he feels. When his instinct is to close the distance, not create it, that instinct is telling you everything. But here's where it gets interesting. This one is subtle, but once you notice it, you'll never unsee it. There's a difference between a man who lies next to you and a man who lies toward you. The body positions itself toward the things it values. We lean in when we're interested. We turn away when we're disengaging. This isn't a metaphor. It's physiology. When a man keeps his face angled toward yours after sex, he's doing something deeply revealing. He's watching you. Not in a creepy way, in a captivated way. He wants to see your face. He might trace your features with his eyes, or push your hair back, or just look at you with that expression that's hard to describe, but impossible to fake. Psychologists call this affiliative gaze. It's the way we look at people we are emotionally attached to. It's the same way you look at a baby or a beloved pet or someone you've missed for a long time. It's a look of recognition, of relief, of there you are. When a man looks at you that way after the performance is over, when there's nothing to prove and nothing to win, that gaze is pure feeling. One of my clients, let's call her Sarah, had been dating a man for 2 months. She liked him, but couldn't tell if he was serious. She told me, "He says all the right things, but I can't shake this uncertainty." Then, one morning, she noticed something. After being together, she'd rolled to look at the window, and when she looked back, he was already looking at her. Just looking. Quietly. He didn't say anything. He just smiled a little and pulled her in. She told me later, that was the moment I knew. Not a declaration, not a promise, a look. And she was right to trust it. Think about that for a second. The people who are most present in your life, you can feel it before they even speak, because their attention tells you. A man who watches your face after intimacy isn't admiring a conquest. He's memorizing someone he can't imagine losing. Now, this next one might surprise you. You might expect the third sign to be something dramatic, something obvious, but this one is quiet, and it might be the most powerful sign on this entire list. When a man is truly emotionally bonded to you, he starts talking after intimacy. Not about the future, not about serious things, not to solve a problem or fill an awkward silence. He just talks. He tells you something random from his week. He brings up a memory. He asks you what you'd do if you could live anywhere in the world. He tells you something that made him laugh that day. He's not performing vulnerability. He's just open. This is extraordinary because most people, and again, especially men who've been taught to present a curated version of themselves, are very deliberate about what they share and when. The emotional guardrails are always up. But after genuine intimacy with someone they're falling for, those guardrails come down Not with speeches, not with grand confessions, with rambling, easy, unguarded conversation. The psychological term for this is post-coital dysphoria reversal in the safe attachment context. When feelings of closeness surge and the person reaches for emotional as well as physical connection. He doesn't just want your body near his. He wants your mind near his. Let me tell you about James. James was a 34-year-old man who'd been through a painful divorce. He'd spent 2 years being fiercely closed off, going on dates, never letting anyone in. Then he met a woman named Claire. He told me afterward, "I don't know what happened. After we were together the first time, I just started talking. I told her about my dog who died when I was 12. I told her I cried at the end of Interstellar. I told her I was terrified of being ordinary." He said, "I hadn't told anyone those things in years, and I didn't plan to. It just came out." That wasn't weakness. That wasn't oversharing. That was a man's emotional center recognizing safety. His whole system was saying, this person is worth the risk. Let her in. When a man opens up in those quiet minutes, rambling, soft, unguarded, he is not doing it because it's the right thing to do. He's doing it because he can't help it. That is the definition of obsession. Not possession, not neediness, the inability to hold himself back from you. And here's what I want you to sit with. If a man has never talked like that with you after being together, if it's always quiet in a heavy way, or he's always on his phone, or he always seems to leave the moment emotionally, even if he stays physically, that tells you something too. Not that you should panic, but that you deserve to know. The man who can't stop talking to you after intimacy isn't being sentimental. He's showing you the door to himself, and he's hoping you'll walk through it. And if you think that was powerful, wait for this. There's a moment, you know it if you've experienced it, where a man could politely make his exit. The reasonable hour has passed. He could say he has an early morning. He could say he should get home. And the man who is just physically present in your life will find that reason. Not because he's cruel, not because he doesn't like you, but because the pull toward his own space is stronger than the pull toward yours. The man who is obsessed with you, emotionally, not just physically, that man finds reasons to stay. He says, "I'm not tired yet." He asks if you have anything good to watch. He asks if you want tea. He finds the smallest, most mundane excuse to extend his time in your presence. This is profoundly important because it tells you what he values. When the physical need is met, what remains? If the answer is you, if he still wants to be near you, still wants to hear your voice, still finds reasons to not walk out the door, you are not just a desire to this man, you are a destination. My client Priya told me about a man she'd been seeing. He stayed once until 2 a.m, helping me look for a word I couldn't remember from a poem I'd read years ago. She laughed when she told me. We never found it, but he stayed. She said, "I think that was the night I fell in love with him." He wasn't there for the poem. He was there for her. And he showed it the most ordinary, beautiful way possible. He just didn't leave. Any man can show up. The one who is truly yours is the one who finds reasons to stay long after he needs to. This one lives in the smallest gestures, and small gestures are where real feeling lives. When a man is emotionally obsessed with you, he starts caring about your comfort, not in a grand performative way, in a quiet, instinctive way. He notices you shiver and pulls the blanket up without being asked. He gets up to get you water. He asks if you're hungry. He checks if the light is bothering you. These micro moments of care are not him trying to impress you. He has nothing left to impress you with at that point. These are pure expressions of your well-being matters to me. This is what attachment psychology calls caregiving behavior, and it is one of the most reliable indicators of genuine bonding. When someone shifts from wanting you to wanting for you, when their attention moves from their own desire to your comfort, that is emotional investment in its truest form. Think about how different that feels from someone who just asks, "Was that good?" Which is still at its core a question about him, versus someone who, without a word, pulls you in and asks, "Are you warm enough?" One is seeking validation. The other is giving care. The moment a man starts tending to your comfort without being asked, he has stopped seeing you as an experience. He sees you as someone he's responsible for, in the best possible way. Laughter after intimacy is one of the most underrated signs of genuine connection, and one of the most honest. You cannot fake real, easy laughter. You can smile politely, you can chuckle when something seems like it warrants it, but that pure, spontaneous, slightly ridiculous laughter that comes from being completely at ease with someone, that requires safety. That requires trust. That requires the absolute absence of performance. When a man laughs freely with you in those quiet moments, when something silly happens and he finds it genuinely funny, when he teases you and you tease back, when there's no attempt to be impressive or romantic or on in any way, what you're witnessing is his most unguarded self. And here's what's important. He only gives that to people he trusts completely. A man can perform romance. He can practice charm. He can rehearse the right things to say and the right way to say them. But he cannot manufacture the ease of real laughter with someone he doesn't genuinely like. Obsession isn't just about desire. It's about joy. When a man is obsessed with you, being with you makes him feel good in a way that goes beyond attraction. You make him light. And that lightness, that laugh, is the proof. When he laughs with you like no one is watching, it's because emotionally, he's completely undefended. That's a privilege he doesn't give everyone. Now we've come to the one that ties all of this together. In 2025, this might be the most powerful signal of all. Think about what the phone represents. It is the infinite scroll of distraction, stimulation, connection with the outside world. It is the first refuge of someone who is uncomfortable with silence, someone who needs to fill something. When a man is lying next to you after intimacy and his phone sits untouched, that is a statement, a loud one. It means you are more interesting than everything else. It means this moment with you is enough. We live in a world where our attention is the most valuable and contested thing we own. Every app, every notification, every platform is engineered to pull your eyes away from the present moment. So when someone willingly, instinctively stays in the present with you, when you are more compelling than every digital distraction fighting for his attention, you have to understand what that means. That is choice. Active, ongoing, in the moment choice. Every second his phone stays face down is a second he's choosing you. Compare that to the man who reaches for his phone within minutes. Maybe he's not doing it to hurt you. Maybe he doesn't even realize he's doing it. But what his body is saying is, the moment of desire has passed, and now I need something else. The connection didn't deepen when the physical moment ended. It just stopped. A woman I worked with, let's call her Diane, had been seeing someone for 4 months and was plagued by uncertainty. He was charming and attentive on dates, but she said, the moment we'd be together, I'd feel close to him, and then I'd feel alone. He'd be on his phone while I was right there, and I'd lie there thinking, am I boring? Did I do something wrong? She wasn't boring. She wasn't wrong. She was just with someone whose interest ended where his desire did. Eventually, she met someone else. She told me the first time we were together, we talked for 3 hours. Neither of us touched our phones. And I remember thinking, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. She was right. When someone makes you feel like the most interesting thing in the room, not through flattery, but through their undivided presence, that is the most powerful kind of attraction there is. His phone is never more interesting than you are. That's not distraction. That's devotion. Let's come back to where we started. You came to this video because part of you has been uncertain. Uncertain about him. Uncertain about whether what you feel is real for him too. Uncertain about whether you're reading the situation clearly or just seeing what you want to see. And I want to honor that uncertainty because it's not weakness, it's wisdom. It means you care about getting this right. But here's what I want to leave you with. The signs we talked about today, the way he pulls you in, the way his face stays turned toward yours, the way he talks and laughs and stays and puts down his phone, none of them require him to be perfect. None of them require grand gestures or perfect words. They just require him to be present. Present with his body, present with his attention, present with his care. And here is the truth that I want you to carry with you past this video. You are not asking too much when you want a man who shows up for you in those quiet, unguarded moments. You are not being needy when you want to feel chosen, not just in the heat of desire, but in the calm that follows it. You are not naive for believing that love reveals itself in the small things. You are just someone who knows what real connection feels like and refuses to settle for a performance of it. The man who is truly obsessed with you doesn't just want the exciting moments. He wants the still ones. He wants the quiet Tuesday night version of you. He wants to be next to you when there's nothing happening and feel like everything is. That man exists, and more importantly, you deserve him. Not someday, not if you change, not if you get smaller or quieter or less demanding of depth. Now, as you are, with the full, incredible weight of everything you bring to a relationship. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Stop analyzing the grand gestures. Start noticing the small ones. Start paying attention to what his body says when his words aren't doing anything. Start trusting those quiet moments of truth over the loud moments of charm. Because in those moments, he's not telling you what you want to hear. He's telling you who he is. And you deserve to know. This is your moment. Don't waste it. If this spoke to something you've been feeling, if it helped you see your situation a little more clearly, then I want you to hit subscribe right now. Because every week we go deep on the psychology behind real connection, real attraction, and what it actually takes to build a relationship that doesn't leave you guessing. And if you want to go even deeper, watch this next. If he does these 5 things in public, he's completely in love with you. Because what a man does when the world is watching tells you just as much as what he does when no one is. I'll see you there.